Hello folks, we come to the exercise 10.3 part 2. There is some problem with this question, it was not getting recorded properly, so that is why we are doing it once again. The question number 3. Now the question number 3 is important also. Why? Because they give us a equation and they ask us to convert it into normal form. Now normal form is not like the other question number 1 and 2, it doesn't come so easily. You have certain things, certain norms to follow, and only then you will be able to get it in the normal form. Not only that you should get it in the normal form, the question says that you should write what is the perpendicular distance and the angle that is so formed. We'll just get a quick revision about the normal form. We know that the normal form is x cos omega plus y sin omega equal to p, where p is this perpendicular distance and this omega is the angle that they are asking. So we should get it converted into that form, and then we should get to know what these angles are. Now in order to do that, first thing that is important to us is whatever angle that is, whatever equation that is given to us, we have to look at the coefficient of x, that we call it as capital A. Then we look at the coefficient of y, we call it as capital B. We will find out root of a squared plus b squared. And from that has to be divided throughout in this equation, then only you are able to work in normal form. Normal form means the equation should be first in normal form. You have to get it in normal form. Getting it into normal form is this: coefficient of x squared plus coefficient of y squared, coefficient of x whole squared, coefficient of y whole squared, add it up, take the root, divide it. Then only equation will be in normal form. Then you should find out what is the omega and the p. So that's about it. So there's quite a lot of formalities that you have to do, then only you are able to get the angle and the distance properly. So let's get right away with this. See, first of all, the equation has to be something equal to the number. So convert it in that form. Here, but 8 is on this side. So when you take 8 on the other side, it will become minus 8. That is not allowed. You want that number to be positive. So what we will do, instead of taking 8 on the other side, let 8 stay there, we will take the other numbers on the other side. So what will happen, this will become, we are taking it on the other side, so it's becoming 8 equal to minus x plus root 3y. Our idea is to get this in that form. So basically it is this form that you have got. As I was telling you about a and b here, so what is the a and b? A here is minus 1 and b here is root 3. We have to find out root of a squared plus b squared. A root of a squared means it's 1, minus 1 squared. Root 3 squared is 3. So 1 plus 3, that's root 4, and that will come to 2. We take only the positive value, and then we divide this entire expression by this. So minus x, that's the way of doing it. That's every normal form problem has to be converted first in the normal form. How to convert it into normal form is by this procedure, right? So we now divide this entire expression by the 2 so that it comes in the normal form. So what are we getting? We are getting minus half x plus root 3 by 2y equal to 4. Right. So we are now almost in the form x cos omega plus y sin omega equal to p. We are in that form, which allows us that this is p, this is sin omega, and this is cos omega. So you can just check, where can cos omega be minus half, where can sin omega be plus root 3 by 2. First of all, if sin has to be positive and cos has to be negative, it has to be in the second quadrant. So let's do all that. The perpendicular distance is 4. That's clear from here. And omega, we have found out that it is something of the type pi minus theta, because sin is positive but cos is negative. So like that we have come to know that it is in the second quadrant. Now it's enough if we know exactly what is this theta, our work is done. Right. So, and that you can get to know from the angle, like sin is root 3 by 2 but cos is half. At what angle does that happen? Sin becomes root 3 by 2, cos becomes half at 60 degree. That means it's pi by 3. So it can become pi minus pi by 3. So that way if we equalize, into 3, 3 pi minus pi by 3, 2 pi by 3. So the required angle over here is 2 pi by 3 and the perpendicular distance is 4. That's how you go about doing this, getting it converted into the normal form. So it's like, if you want, the normal form is actually minus, it's cos 2 pi by 3x plus sine 2 pi by 3 by equal to 4. This is the normal form, right? So that's our problem number 1. Then let's take the problem number 2. Again, let's get it in standard form, y equal to 2. 2 has to go on the other side. Here 2 can go because it was minus, it's easy for us to put it on the other side. Then a, because there's no x appearing, a is 0, but b is 1. So if you are taking by routine a squared plus b squared, it is 0 plus 1, it's 1 itself, root of 1, 1 itself. So it's okay if you don't divide. You take the, because we are following the routine y divided by 1, 2 divided by 1, which is y equal to 2. Now, this is a case where you have, say, 0 into x plus 1 into y, right? What does that mean? That cos omega is 0 and sin omega is 1. And the perpendicular distance is 2. So we can write the perpendicular distance as 2, but at the same time, we have to look out for the omegas. What could this omega be? Where sin is 1, but cos is 0. Directly you get some answer. Sin omega, if it's 1, it is pi by 2. At the same time, cos pi by 2 is 0. So without doubt, the omega is pi by 2. It's only that much, right? Now we come to our next problem. One great relief is already the 4 is there on the other side. So one part of your work is done. So x minus y equal to 4. That much work is done. Not like the other one we have to shift. That much is done. Now a and b. So here, how about our a is 1, b is 1. So our root of a squared plus b squared, 1 plus 1 squared plus 1 squared, that is 1 squared plus 1 squared, it is 1 plus 1, which is root 2. Now whatever that you obtain, you should divide throughout. So that it gets converted into normal form. Okay, this will do a little bit of working. Calling 4 is like calling 2 into 2, right? And this 2, if you want, you can call it as root 2 into root 2, so that this can get cancelled. So you're getting 1 by root 2x plus minus 1 by root 2y equal to 2 root 2, making this as the perpendicular distance. You've got the perpendicular distance. You're getting cos omega as half and you're getting sin omega as minus half. Cos is positive, sin is negative. Where does that happen? In the fourth quadrant. So it's clear to us that this is in the fourth quadrant, 2 pi minus theta. Now it is for us to find out what is the theta. That we find out from the values. So 1 by root 2 and 1 by root 2. Which is that cos value which gives 1 by root 2 and which is that sin value which gives you 1 by root 2? 45, which is pi by 4. So therefore this is going to be pi by 4. Now we solve it. Into 4 into 4. So how much is that? 8 pi minus pi by 4, that is 7 pi by 4. So you can have it in normal form. It is cos 7 pi by 4x plus sine 7 pi by 4y is 2 root 2. That's about this problem. Very important and very different, right? So it's important because it's different, it's important. Two very careful things that you have to be careful. One is that the constant has to be on the other side, it has to be positive, and then that root of a squared plus b squared, you have to divide it to get it into standard form, then only we are able to find all this. So those two things if you do cautiously, then you are able to get the answer, and you have to have your trigonometry in your hand. Okay, now see, it's all this exercise is full of shifting concepts. You know, you would be doing one, by the time the other thing comes, by the time the other thing, so you have to shift. Now we are shifting our concept going to the distance of a line from a point. I'll give you the general formula that suppose say if you have a line of the equation ax plus by plus c equal to 0, and suppose say there is a point x1 y1, they ask you this distance. Okay, suppose say this distance is given by the formula modulus ax1 plus by1 plus c by root of a squared plus b squared. We are able to understand all this. This is the same equation, but x is replaced by this, y is replaced by this, and all other things. So this is a formula that by and large we will be using for these two problems. So let us see now how to do it. They have told us, fourth problem, they have told us equation of the line and they have given us a point. They have asked us to find out the distance. So let's call this point as B. This is all our creation. Okay, it's on there in the problem. Let line L points A comma B be as shown in the figure, so that we can find things out first. Be as shown in the figure. here, now see, line L has to be in proper form. Now all this, it should be in this form. Then we can apply the formula. Here line L is 12 times x plus 6 is 5 times y minus 2. It's not in that form. We'll get it into that form. Otherwise, it's very difficult to get the distance. So let's get it in that form. Let's open the bracket. 12x plus 72 is 5y minus 10. Have everything on one side. 12x minus 5y plus 72 plus 10 equal to 0, or 12x minus 5y plus 82 equal to 0. Therefore, distance AB. That's what they have asked us. For that, the formula is this, right? And what we do is, see, here in this equation, this x and y will be replaced by minus 1 and 1. So 12, x is replaced by minus 1 and y is replaced by 1. That's all. And then you have root of a squared plus b squared. So 12 squared plus 5 squared. How much does this come to? Minus 12 minus 5 plus 82. So that means minus 12 minus 5, it's minus 17. Only I was telling about the triplets. So if you're very good at triplets, 12 and 5, it's a triplet with 13. So that is why you can directly write 13. But if you're not so good at the triplet, then we calculate. 112 squared is 144, 5 squared is 25, 144 plus 25 is 169, root of 169 is 13. Like that you will get this value as 13. And see this is 17, so 82 minus 17, 12 minus 7 is 5, 65. So it is like 65 by 13, which is 5. Yeah, so your distance is 5 units. Same way, we have the question number 5, which says that they give us an equation of a line in the form x by 3 plus y by 4 equal to 1. And then they ask us to find out a distance. I'll just read the question properly. It says that find the point on the x-axis whose distance from the line x by 3 plus y by 4 equal to 1 is 4 units. They have told you the distance. The distance is 4 units. You find out the point, right? Since you don't know the point, or first let's introduce. Let line L, comma points AB be as shown in the figure. Be as shown in the figure. Let A coordinate with coordinate h0 be the required point. So we are assuming that also. Okay. So they tell us that distance is this much. Again, this is not a very desirable form. So let's have it in that form. The line L is x by 3 plus y by 4 equal to 1. Let's have it converted into 4 into 4 into 3 into 3. So it's 4x plus 3y whole by 12 equal to 1. And on further solving, it will come to 4x plus 3y equal to 12. That's the equation. Or when we want to make it more correct, 4x plus 3y minus 12 equal to 0. That's the equation of your line. We are supposed to be finding the distance AB. So let us find out the distance AB. Here, therefore, the distance AB will be equal to, we all know this 4, x is replaced by h, and 3 is y is replaced by 0, and then you have minus 12 by root of 4 squared plus 3 squared, and then we know that this distance is 4, it's given to us. So it becomes 4h plus or minus. When you remove the modulus, it's plus or minus. 4 and 3 are good old friend Pythagorean triplet. 4 and 3 is a triplet with 5. Or you can do 4 squared 16, 3 squared 9 plus take the sum and take the root of it, will come to 5. Let's solve this. 4h minus 12 by 5 is 4 in one case, and 4h minus 12 by 5 is minus 4 in the other case. So we have 4h, this goes there, it becomes 20. Then this 12 will go there, it will become plus, so 32. 4 is multiplication, will go on the other side, become division and become 8. One case. The other case is goes on the other side, it becomes minus 20. Then plus 12, so that's 8. 4h is 8. So h will be 8 by 4, 2. Right. So your required points, there are 2 points. The required points are, oh, I'm not happy with the sign. It's negative, minus 8. Are minus 2, 0 and 8, 0. Right. Those are the 2 points. Now, again, as I said, we'll be switching concepts every now and then. Next is, they give us 2 lines and they ask us to find out the distance between the 2 lines. I don't know, let me see what this is. Distance between 2 parallel lines. They give you 2 parallel lines and they ask us to find out the distance. So, as usual, I'll quickly let you know what the formula is, and then we will quickly see how it is. Suppose if you have these 2 lines, suppose say there is one line like this and there is another line like this. This is ax plus by plus c1 equal to 0. This is ax plus by plus c2 equal to 0. So to find out the distance between this, then it is given by the formula distance. Is given by the formula c1 minus c2, take the modulus, by root of c. Obviously parallel lines, they will have this x coefficient and y coefficient same. Okay, so it's a root of a squared plus b squared. That's about it. That's how you get the required distance. So you have to conveniently substitute it over here. For us, this is a, this is b, this is c1 and this is c2. So therefore the required distance, will be first c1 minus c2, that means minus 34 minus 31 by root of 15 square plus 8 square. How much is this? 4 and 1, 5, 6 minus 65 by 15 and 8. If we know that what triplet it is, you can write it directly. I think it's 17. Why? Because this is 225 and this is 64. So it comes to 289, which is 17 square. So this will come to 17. Because we are taking the modulus, the distance will become 65 by 17. That's about this. Again, next is a parallel line, but it's not in a standard form like this. So let's get it in standard form. We can apply the formula, get it right away. So this is like writing here, these equations are Lx plus Ly plus Pr. It has become standard. Lx plus Ly minus R equal to 0. Now what are these? A's, B's and all that. This is C1, this is C2, this is A, this is B. So what is our required distance? Required distance will be equal to C1 minus C2 by root of A squared plus B squared. Once I will write it. By root of A squared plus B squared. C1 for us is P. C2 for us is minus R, minus of minus R plus R. L for us, A for us is L, so L squared. B for us is also L, so L squared. So it's like P plus R, L squared plus L squared, 2L squared. So that's like root 2 into root L squared. Root L squared we know is L. So it's like P plus R by root 2 L in modulus form, because we don't know what is this P and R and all that. So that's it. That's the value that we get over here. That is about our part 2 video. With the remaining questions, a voluminous exercise. With the remaining question, we come in the next part. Thank you.